two floating cities, both over 1,000 feet long, both armed with jets that can reach you before you even know they're coming. One belongs to the most powerful navy in human history. The other is China's boldest statement to the world. Built from scratch, launched in front of the planet, and now patrolling the Pacific. One runs on nuclear power and can stay at sea for 25 years without refueling. The other just launched stealth fighters from a catapult system it built entirely on its own. Both of these machines exist right now, and the world is watching to see which one holds the edge. This is not a story about the future. This is happening today. You might be thinking we've heard this comparison before. China builds something big. The US holds its lead. End of story. But this time, something is genuinely different. For the first time in history, a country other than the United States has built a carrier that launches stealth jets from an electromagnetic catapult. Not a ski jump. Not a steam catapult. The exact same technology the US Navy spent decades developing, and China just put it on a ship. So before you decide who wins this matchup, let's go inside both of these giants. The real numbers, the real capability, and the one factor most people completely overlook. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where America stands and what it's going to take to stay on top. If you're proud of what this country's Navy has built, drop proud in the comments right now. Segment 1. Meet the contenders. Let's start with China's ship, because this one genuinely caught the world off guard with how fast it came together. The Fujian, officially called the Type 003, was commissioned into China's Navy on November 5, 2025. Built at Jiangnan Shipyard in Shanghai, it was laid down in 2016, launched in June 2022, and reached active service in under 9 years. Now here's what makes the Fujian different from everything China has built before. China's first two carriers, the Liaoning and the Shandong, were based on old Soviet designs. They used a ski jump ramp to launch aircraft. That's a curved ramp at the front of the ship that flings jets into the air. It works, but it limits what kind of aircraft you can launch and how much those jets can carry. The Fujian threw that system out completely. Instead, it uses electromagnetic catapults, 3 of them. This lets China launch heavier aircraft with more fuel and more weapons, far more efficiently than anything it's done before. And it built that system entirely on its own. The Fujian is about 1,037 feet long. It displaces between 80,000 and 85,000 tons at full load. That makes it the largest non-nuclear powered warship ever built by any country on Earth. Now let's talk about the American side. The USS John F. Kennedy, hull number CVN 79, is the second ship in the Gerald R. Ford class. Construction started July 20th, 2015 at Newport News Shipbuilding in Virginia. Launched October 29th, 2019. Christened December 7th, the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. The price tag? $13.196 billion. CVN 79 is 1,106 feet long. It displaces about 100,000 tons, and it carries enough fuel, weapons, and supplies to sustain combat operations for weeks without returning to port. But the number that tells the real story that's coming up next. Segment 2, the power divide. The single biggest difference between these two ships, the one that shapes everything else, is propulsion. The Fujian runs on steam turbines and diesel generators. Conventional power. It burns fuel. It needs to be refueled regularly. The USS John F. Kennedy runs on two A-1B nuclear reactors. Two nuclear reactors built by Bechtel Marine Propulsion Corporation, designed to generate enough electricity to move 100,000 tons of steel at over 30 knots, while also powering advanced sensors, electromagnetic launch systems, and whatever future weapons technology the Navy installs. The nuclear fuel lasts the life of the ship. CVN 79 has an operational range described simply as unlimited. It can travel anywhere on the planet without stopping to refuel. Its nuclear operating interval is measured in decades, not days. The Fujian cannot do this. This matters enormously in real-world operations. A Chinese carrier group operating far from home in the middle of the Pacific needs a constant supply chain of fuel tankers and support vessels just to keep moving. That supply chain is a vulnerability. It can be targeted, disrupted, or cut off entirely. A nuclear-powered U.S. carrier doesn't have that problem. It shows up, it operates, and it stays as long as the mission requires. Now, before we get into what these ships can actually do in combat, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Over 98% of people watching this aren't subscribed. It costs you nothing. And it keeps this channel delivering the kind of military content that respects your intelligence. Hit that button right now. Segment 3, the air wings. Here's where this comparison gets genuinely interesting. Because when it comes to the aircraft flying off these carriers, China made a move that almost nobody expected this quickly. The Fujian's air wing is built around three new platforms. First, the J-15T, a heavy multi-role fighter with long range and a large weapons load. The upgraded T variant is built specifically for the Fujian's electromagnetic catapult system. Second, the J-15DT, the electronic warfare version. Its job is to blind and jam enemy radar and communications. Having a dedicated electronic warfare jet on a carrier is a serious capability. It means the Fujian doesn't just punch hard, it also messes with your ability to see the punch coming. Third and most significant of all, the J-35. This is China's carrier-based stealth fighter. Fifth generation. Folding wings for deck storage, reinforced landing gear for arrested landings, modified specifically for electromagnetic catapult launches. In September 2025, before the Fujian was even officially commissioned, China confirmed that the J-35, the J-15T, and the KJ-600 airborne early warning aircraft had all conducted successful catapult launches and arrested landings from the Fujian's deck during sea trials. That is a historic moment. The first time in history a country other than the United States had launched a stealth fighter from an electromagnetic catapult aboard an actual carrier at sea. The KJ-600 deserves its own mention. It's a fixed-wing turboprop early warning aircraft, the Chinese equivalent of the U.S. Navy's E-2D Hawkeye. Its massive radar systems can detect threats from hundreds of miles away. Before the Fujian, no Chinese carrier had this capability. Earlier carriers relied on helicopters for airborne early warning, far less capable. The KJ-600 changes that completely. Now what does CVN 79 bring to counter all of this? Carrier Air Wing 1, FA-18E F Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, E-2D Advanced Hawkeyes, CMV-22B Ospreys, and the F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters. The F-35C has been operational aboard U.S. carriers for years. It has accumulated thousands of flight hours, real-world deployments, and combat environment testing. The pilot training ecosystem around it is mature. Weapons integration is proven. CVN-79 will also carry MQ-25 Stingray unmanned refueling drones aerial tankers with no pilot on board that extend the strike range of the F-35C and Super Hornets by hundreds of miles. The Fujian's projected air wing sits at roughly 40 to 60 fixed-wing aircraft. CVN-79 is designed to operate more than 75 aircraft, with surge capacity approaching the low 90s. That is a significant numerical advantage backed by decades of training and doctrine that cannot be replicated overnight. Segment 4. The sortie rate. There's a factor in carrier combat that almost nobody outside the defense community talks about, and it might be the most important one of all. Sortie rate. How many times per day can the carrier launch and recover aircraft? It's not just about how many jets you have. It's about how fast you can cycle them, refuel them, rearm them, fix them, and get them back in the air. CVN-79 is designed to generate 33% more sorties per day compared to older Nimitz-class carriers. The improvements to its electromagnetic launch system, its advanced arresting gear, its weapons elevators, and its deck automation are all specifically engineered to push that number higher. In practice, Kennedy can put more aircraft in the air, more times per day, than almost any carrier that has ever existed. The Fujian's sortie capability is still being assessed. As of April 2026, satellite imagery showed the Fujian training in the Bohai Sea near Qinhuangdao with just one escort vessel. The PLAN has acknowledged the Fujian must still complete full integration with its escort fleet, its complete air wing, and conduct long-range combat training before reaching full operational capability expected sometime before the end of 2026. Meanwhile, CVN-79 completed its Builder's Sea trials on February 4, 2026, testing nuclear propulsion, electromagnetic launch, advanced arresting gear, and combat radar systems, all in the same week. The U.S. Navy has been operating carrier strike groups continuously since World War II. That institutional knowledge cannot be downloaded. It has to be earned over decades.
Left 25-degree runner.
Segment 5. The strike group reality. A carrier is only as powerful as the ships around it. CVN-79 deploys as part of a full carrier strike group. That typically includes guided missile destroyers, fast attack submarines, and supply ships, all operating in layered defense around the carrier. The outer layer submarines and aircraft, hunting threats before they get close. The middle layer destroyers, intercepting missiles with systems like the SM-6 and SM-3. The inner layer, the carrier itself, defended by phalanx close-in weapons, rolling airframe missiles, and evolved Sea Sparrow missiles. This system has been refined through 80 years of real-world operations, joint exercises, and combat experience. China's escort fleet for the Fujian is built around the Type 055 destroyer, one of the most capable surface warships in the world outside the U.S. Navy, alongside Type 052D destroyers and Type 054A frigates. The Fujian's first live carrier strike group training in the South China Sea included the Type 055 destroyer Yan'an and the Type 054A frigate Tongliao. That is a serious escort package. The Type 055 in particular is a large, heavily armed destroyer with advanced anti-air and anti-submarine capability. But here's the honest reality. China's carrier strike group concept is still being developed in real time. Current training is focused on basic formation sailing, coordinated drills, and testing how the ships communicate with each other. America is on version 10 of this playbook. China is on version 1. Segment 6, the final verdict. So who prevails? Right now, today in 2026, the USS John F. Kennedy wins. And it's not particularly close. Nuclear propulsion gives it unlimited range and endurance. The Fujian must refuel. That single fact shapes every deployment and every mission. 75 plus aircraft versus 40 to 60. A proven, combat-tested air wing versus one still being integrated. A carrier strike group doctrine with 80 years of refinement versus a strike group still learning to sail in formation. The Fujian is an extraordinary achievement, let's be honest about that. 10 years ago, no analyst on Earth thought China could build a ship like this fast. The electromagnetic catapults, the J-35, the KJ-600, these are serious military capabilities. And the U.S. Navy is paying close attention. But here is the part that matters most for the long view. China is not building one more carrier. It's building 6 more over the next decade. Its 4th carrier, the Type 004, is already under construction at Dalian Shipyard, expected to be nuclear-powered. Estimated displacement between 110,000 and 120,000 tons. If those numbers are accurate, it will be larger than even the Gerald R. Ford class. And America? CVN 79 is just the second in a 10-ship Ford-class program. The Enterprise, CVN 80, and the Doris Miller, CVN 81, are already being built. The U.S. Navy is not standing still. What we are watching right now is the beginning of the most significant naval competition since the Second World War. The Fujian is China's opening move. CVN 79 is America's answer. And neither side is done building. Conclusion. The sailors keeping watch aboard U.S. carriers right now deserve every bit of support this country can give them. They are the reason America still holds the line. This competition is not going away. It's going to shape the next 50 years. If this video gave you a clearer picture, hit that like button and subscribe. Every subscriber helps this channel keep bringing you honest, in-depth military coverage. Stay sharp.